Our speaker is Iryna Pinich from Kyiv National Linguistic University, Ukraine. Today she presents her talk on the topic, A Multidimensional Model of Love. Iryna Pinich is an associate professor at Kyiv National Linguistic University. Currently, she is a visiting researcher at Södertörn University, Stockholm. Her research interests include pragmatics, discourse analysis of emotions, language and ideology, corpus linguistics, and cognitive linguistics. Today, she will give a talk on the topic, A Multidimensional Model of Love.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the organizers of the conference to share the idea of multidimensionality of the concept of love. This theoretical essay might be full of controversies, so I'm lucky to have Professor Zoltan Kovacic and my fellow colleagues, who would be, I hope, with their comments and critical remarks, would help to make this paper more beneficial. So the ability of our conscious minds to deliver a proprioceptive view of anything we attempt to grasp the understanding of results in conceptual image, which is the process and the product of something, seeing something as something else. These ideas are explicitly present in the imagistic perspective view of metaphors, similes, and other conceptual structures, which serve as essential operators of mind to provide the philosophical and linguistic solution of many matter. An attempt to grasp the meaning of love displayed in language implies a theoretical perspective of the human life world as the entirety of the inner world seamlessly integrated into the outer worlds or spaces of nature, culture, and spirit. This forms the contextual basis of metaphorical conceptualization, while experienced occurrences are processed by employing three fundamental types of conceptualizations: space, time, and identity. Conceptualizing the concept of love, which exhibits fluidity in meaning throughout its evolution, can involve content and structures beyond the widely recognized generic metaphor, emotion is force. This metaphor implies a linear temporal force dynamic event and action pattern, with a cultural model unfolding in the sequence of cause, existence, control, and response. Challenges may arise, though, when considering other kinds of love, such as love of God, love for humanity, love of nature, or parental love. In light of the various contexts shaping the conceptualization of love, we propose a spatial account, assuming the recognition of a generic domain of space, which serves as a semantic frame encompassing various specific metaphors. As Buber puts it, love is the experience of the infinitude of space. Feelings are entertained, love comes to pass. Feelings dwell in a man, but man dwells in his love. And that is not a metaphor, but the actual truth. The goal of this research, therefore, is to consider the spatial configuration of love, suggesting an alternative pattern of cognitive modeling for the emotion, consistently understanding love as space. The concept of space, though, can be approached in various ways. For instance, according to Harvey, it can be conceptualized as absolute space, which is viewed as a thing in itself and exists independently of matter. It is a space of geographical coordinates, and it houses both stationary and moving objects. It can be viewed as relative space with relations between matter and objects with a material basis. It is a model of relations exercised in the world, and a relational space contained in objects that exist only to the extent that they contain their relationship to other objects. It is the sphere of direct interaction with other minds and through expressive contact and enabling the sharing of thoughts and feelings. Every space is a different area for different experiences and a plane that holds the capacity to create different meanings. But these spaces do not manifest in isolation and appear simultaneously depending on the context and circumstances within the material within material discursive formations. The perspective on multidimensional concept organization portrays love metaphorically as a space that surrounds and permeates every element of the world, including nature, culture, and spirit. and serves as an intrinsic feature of relationship between objects. The infinitude of love yields a manifold model that facilitates the understanding of the configurational topology of the concept. The spherical representation of love in the Euclidean space grounds in the relevant folk worldview of the space-time domain. The network matrix of love constitutes the space in three relative hyperdimensions: directionality, perceptuality, and purposefulness, which unfold in their respective subdimensions, which are going to be addressed to shortly, very briefly. The circular intersections represented in the scheme in the slide, displayed in the green G and blue S circles of the sphere, are infinitely many great circles which are capable of visualizing numerous planes of love, including antipodal points of P and P prime, to generate a visual representation of the configurational space of the concept. The hyperdimension of directionality of love constitutes one of the fundamental aspects of the concept, and it unfolds in the following subdimensions. Of dynamism, the dynamic properties are inherent in the concept of emotion, can be analyzed within a system of spatial correlations, which include inwardness and outwardness, capable of providing a configurational space, for instance, for human love and God's love. The examples of both absolute space metaphors and relative space metaphors exemplified here in this slide are capable of providing the operational space for the two types, or for the two kinds of love displayed. Closeness and distance are two planes which effectively encapsulate proximity or short distance and long distance love. Absolute spatial metaphors are exemplified in the expressions like feeling close to someone or feeling near, which convey the alignment between objects in space. And self-directionality and multidirectionality plane establishes the configurational space for self-love and universal love. And navigation within the space, or the expansion of space, is depicted in the association of love to multi-directional light spread, as seen in the expressions like love emanates from him, or beacon of love, and we radiate love. The agentivity makes the sub-dimension of this hyperdimension of directionality, where the agents, or the agent of the experience as well as the object, are conceptually placed in a dimensional space within the categories of person community, antagonism and unity, and complementarity and entirety. Person and community unites personal love and universal love. A relational spatial metaphor, love is a bond, illustrated in the expression our love is like a close-knit community, establishes the cognitive linkage between the properties of love and the qualities and dynamics found in closely connected and supportive community. The antagonism and unity span includes competitive love and harmonious love. The relational spatial account of love is illustrated by the expressions attachment between and ties between. The scope of complementarity and entirety defines the configurational space of one-sided love and mutual love. Both the relational spatial metaphor love is a shared space, demonstrated in the expression our hearts share the same space, and the relative spatial metaphor love is shared light in the expression love radiates from us like shared light, are illustrative of the multiple spatial interplays in the conceptualization of love. Selectivity operating in space typically refers to how choices, preferences, or decisions are made within a given spatial context. Electiveness is a socially predetermined mark of love, and its parameters encompass electiveness and inclusiveness, reciprocity and alienation, and equality and inequality. While electiveness and inclusiveness help us to locate preferential love and non-preferential love, and the absolute spatial metaphor love is space, demonstrated by the expression infinite realm of love, encompasses real world space, imaginary realms, and virtual spaces, demonstrating the omnipresence of love. Parochial love and individualistic love falls fall within the category of reciprocity and alienation, and while conceptualizing love as a gravitational force, observed in an example of absolute spatial metaphor in the expression the gravitational pull we experience. Equality and inequality provides the configurational space for egalitarian love and non-egalitarian love, which is illustrated in examples: equal partners in their journey, love binding and liberating us in equal measure, represents relational spatial metaphors such as love is freedom and love is dependence. The hyperdimension of perceptuality perceptuality actually produces the physiological response of emotional experience through which the emotion is felt, while concurrently discovered through its associated thoughts, beliefs, desires, and actions. Affectability perspective secures the property of felt experiences rather broadly and ranges between enjoyment and distress, which unites attraction love and sorrowful love. The conceptual blending is secured by relational spatial metaphors as seen in expressions love is painful or our hearts risk the sting of vulnerability, representing correspondences between love and pain. Categories such as love, happy love and star-crossed love reside within the space of happiness and unhappiness, encompassing the understanding of love as elation, joy, and happiness, as seen in expressions like high on love, where love is high, and it is an absolute spatial metaphor. Within the space of gradation and moderation, we seek to locate passionate love and humble love, which exhibit different levels of experience intensity displayed in language through correspondences between the domains of passion, admiration, liking, depth, intensity, as well as humility and temperance. The beneficiality plane is designed to encompass both the benevolent promotion of others and the self-praising eudaimonic practices observed in the oppositions of egotism and altruism, which houses egotistical love and altruistic love. The expression understanding the heart of the other, of the beloved, illustrates the relational spatial metaphor love is knowledge. Advantage love and forgiving love find their operational space within the advantage and mercy spectrum. A relative spatial metaphor love is a resource is illustrated by expressions like you are my precious and you are my treasure, demonstrating regular mappings between the domain of objective reality and the experience to emphasize the idea that the object of love is a valuable entity. The conditionality and the unconditionality category establishes the configurational parameters for preferential love and non-preferential love. Absolute spatial metaphors like love is ocean and love is sky portray love as the depth and vastness of the ocean or the expansive and limitless nature of the sky, respectively. These metaphors imply a profound and unconditional nature of emotion. Actionality of love space assumes both the intra-individual, covert excitement of mind and the manifested acts of love conceived of through the parameters of manifestation and disguise, for instance, which provides the operational space for habitual love and new love. Both absolute and relational spatial metaphors display the association of love to nature, as seen in indissoluble bonds and unbreakable ties, where the stability of love relationship is linked to physical stability, physical or chemical. Then stormy love and steady love find their configurational space delineated by the parameters of perturbability, imperturbability. Absolute spatial metaphor love is turbulence is displayed in the expressions whirlwind of euphoria, stirrings of affection, and the turbulence nature of love. And manifestation and disguise manages to encompass public display of affection and secret love. The absolute spatial metaphor love is Johnny, illustrated by the expression examining its hidden paths, love's hidden path. And the relational spatial metaphor love is silence, where silence speaks volumes, situates the concept at the overlap of physical and interpersonal spaces. The inclusion of the supernatural and metaphysical in the dimension of teleologicalness captures a holistic view of the experience from the perspectives of processuality, causality, and eventuality. Processuality lends itself to the parameters of activity and passivity, which encompasses active concern and passive affect. The various spatial metaphors, including the absolute spatial metaphor, where love is associated with a natural force, as in being love-struck, and relative spatial metaphor, love is suffering and love is care, betray love's multidimensionality. Enduring love and predestined love find their space within the parametrical values of goal pursuit and succumbence to providence. For instance, love's embrace displays the relational spatial metaphor, love is touch. Functionality and operationality outlines the space for romantic commitment and love's power. In the expression love triumphs over adversity, conceptualizing establishes links between love and an absolute spatial localization over something, while a labor of love illustrates a relational spatial metaphor, love is work. A causality configurational space covers the span between romanticism and pragmatism, benevolence, care, and construction and destruction. Eternal love and earthly love find their configurational space within the plane of romanticism and pragmatism. The absolute spatial metaphor, love, is absolute or infinite space, is illustrated in love free of earthly limitations and man-made structures. The opposition of benevolence or self-care organizes the configurational parameters for corresponding types of love, benevolence, love, and self-care. Both the absolute and the relational spaces reinforce the understanding of love as a radiant force, depicted through acts of kindness, such as radiating love through intentional acts of kindness, and which is a relational spatial metaphor. Construction and destruction serve as the parametric coordinates for constructive love and destructive love, while the absolute spatial metaphor, love is light, as in love illuminated my love, brings forth the association of a constructive love force. The absolute spatial metaphor, love is forward movement, as in love is moving forward, highlights the progressive nature of love. Conversely, the destructive nature of love is depicted through relational and relative space references, such as love is poison and love is war. The conception of love's eventuality consists in the possibilities for love reification within the framework of worldliness and divinity, imagination and reality, and existence and expectation. The idyllic and true love find their spatial location within the plane of imagination and reality. The relative space metaphor, love is reality, illustrated in the expression love is no idyllic fairy tale, offers a conceptualization of the emotion in relation to the phenomenon and the experiences. Worldliness and divinity establish the configurational space for worldly love and divine love. The relative spatial metaphor, love is magic, as evidenced in the expression like love keeps us spellbound or enchanted and bewitched, aligns with the conceptualization of love as deity within the absolute transcendental space. The configurational space of real love and idealized love is shaped by the parameters of existence and expectation. The examples of metaphors, love is a masterpiece or love is a fantasy, illustrate the correspondence between imaginative virtual space and love. The conclusions that could be drawn from this research are as follows. Love is conceptualized as all possible kinds of spaces, absolute, relative, and relational, separately or in their combinations. Language efficiently displays properties of love metaphorically, ranging from more schematic to more specific, and combinations of parametric indicators allow understanding critical features of each experiential case, while repetitive patterns of operational spaces can establish configuration class parameters for various kinds of love. That's it from me. Thank you very much.